I didn't understand what was happening until she placed her hand on my stomach and said, "Your baby belongs to me." I froze. I wish I was exaggerating. I wish I could say this was some kind of misunderstanding. But then I looked at my husband, and the look on his face, he didn't look confused. He didn't look angry. He looked guilty. That's when my heart dropped. And in that moment, I knew my life was about to change forever. Let me explain. I was 7 months pregnant. Everything should have been perfect. We had the nursery ready, tiny clothes folded, names picked out. But something had been off for a while. I just didn't want to admit it. My husband had changed. At first, it was small things, late replies, missed calls. Then it became bigger. Late nights, random work emergencies, and this one thing I couldn't shake. He stopped touching my stomach. No excitement, no connection. Like the baby wasn't his. I asked him about it. He smiled, said he was just stressed. I wanted to believe him, I really did, but deep down, something felt wrong. And then, that night happened. There was a knock on the door. It was late, too late for visitors. My husband was in the shower. I remember hesitating, but I opened it anyway. And that's when I saw her. She looked calm, too calm, like she knew exactly why she was there. She didn't ask for my name, didn't introduce herself. She just looked at me, then at my stomach, and said, "We need to talk." I felt a chill run down my spine. "Who are you?" I asked. She didn't answer. Instead, she walked past me into my house like she belonged there, and before I could stop her, she turned around, looked directly at my stomach, and said, "That baby is mine." My brain couldn't process it. I actually laughed. I thought it was a joke, a sick one, but still a joke. Then my husband walked in, and everything changed. He saw her and froze, completely froze. I looked at him, waiting for him to say something, anything. "Who is she?" I asked. Silence. "Tell her to leave." Still nothing. And then he said her name, softly, like he already knew her. That's when my chest tightened. "You know her?" I whispered. He didn't answer, but he didn't deny it either. And that's when she smiled. "Finally," she said. Then she looked at me. "You should sit down." I didn't move. I'm not sitting anywhere until someone explains what's going on. My voice was shaking, but I didn't care, because at this point, I could feel everything slipping. She crossed her arms, then said something that made my entire body go numb. "He promised me that baby." I felt like I couldn't breathe. "What did you just say?" She didn't hesitate. "We had an agreement." I turned to my husband. "Tell her she's lying." He stayed quiet. That silence was louder than anything he could have said. And then he finally spoke. But what he said, I wasn't ready for. "It's not what you think." I almost laughed, because that's exactly what someone says when it is exactly what you think. "Then explain it," I said. "Now." He ran his hair through his head, wouldn't look at me, and then he said something that broke me. "She can't have children." I blinked, confused. "And?" I asked. He swallowed. "She asked me for help." My heart started pounding. What kind of help? I already knew, but I didn't want to hear it. Not from him, not like this. And then he said it. We made a deal. Everything inside me froze. "What deal?" My voice barely came out. And then she answered for him. "We agreed that I would get the baby." I stepped back, like the floor disappeared under me. "You're insane." I looked to my husband. "Tell her she's insane." But he didn't. Instead, he said something worse. "She's telling the truth." I felt something inside me shatter. "You promised our baby to someone else?" He shook his head quickly. No, it's not like that." "Then what is it like?" I snapped. My entire body was shaking now. And then he dropped the real truth. "It's not my baby." Silence. Pure silence. I couldn't even react. What did you just say? He finally looked at me, and his eyes, they weren't guilty anymore. They were cold. It's not mine. I felt like I was going to collapse. That's not possible. But then he said something that made everything worse. I got tested. My mind went blank. You what? He said he knew something was off, so he checked. My ears were ringing. I never cheated, I whispered. But now, even I sounded unsure. And that's when she laughed. Actually laughed. Oh, this is even better than I expected. I turned to her. What do you mean? And then she delivered the final twist. He lied to you. I looked at my husband, then back at her. What are you talking about? She stepped closer, lowered her voice. He can have children. I felt my heart stop. What? She nodded. The test, right? Fake. I turned to him. Tell her she's lying. But this time, he didn't even try. And that's when everything clicked. Every late night, every secret call, every lie. It wasn't about stress. It wasn't about work. It was about her. You planned this, I said. My voice was quiet now, too quiet. He didn't answer. He didn't have to, because I already knew. They both did. And then something inside me changed. I stopped crying, stopped shaking, stopped begging for answers, and I asked one simple question. Did you really think I wouldn't find out? They both went silent, because what they didn't know was that I already had my own secret, and when I revealed it, everything flipped. I already did a DNA test. My husband's face changed instantly. What? I smiled, not because I was happy, but because for the first time, I was in control. And the baby, I paused, is yours. Silence. She looked confused. He looked terrified. And for the first time, he had no control over the situation. You lied, I said. You manipulated everything. And now, you're exposed. He tried to speak, but nothing came out, because deep down, he knew it was over. I walked to the door, opened it, and looked at both of them. Get out. And just like that, they did. I stood there, alone, hand on my stomach, heart still racing, but one thing was clear now. Some betrayals break you, and some wake you up.